Welcome to the Patriots Lab, where we ain't even trying to make them liberals mad. Cause freedom of speech is what us individuals have. It's the gift when we gab, talking about things that the brainwashed cannot mentally grasp, like staying loud and waving our American flags. This is for the free thinkers, wearing their MAGA and wearing the cags. Draining the swamp is the ultimate goal, but the sheeple will swear it's a fad, like it's just a phrase. But when we show them the facts, the fools got nothing to say, and deep government state wanna get up in our face, but hasn't done it yet cause Trump's in the way, trying to protect us from a troublesome fate. And because of that, we'll never lose our faith, plus God keeping us cool and safe. But I still hope we get 4 more years so we could throw a huge parade. I can see it now, Patriots on a float, and POTUS will go down in history as one of the GOATs for making the swamp pay for taking every one of his votes. His enemies are the cancer, whether or not Trump give him the smoke. Now relax it back and take notes as we kick facts with the homie Ray though. Speak your mind in the Patriots Lab. It's freedom time in the Patriots Lab, where we ain't even trying to, we make them liberals mad. I said speak your mind in the Patriots Lab. It's freedom time in the Patriots Lab, where we not even trying to, we make them liberals mad. I said, speak your mind in the Patriots Lab. It's freedom time in the Patriots Lab, where we not even trying to, we make them liberals mad. Speak your mind. It's freedom time. Without even trying to, we make them liberals mad.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Good afternoon, people, patriots, whoever you consider yourself to be. Welcome to the Sunday edition of the Patriots Lab conversation. Let me make sure I got everything up and running. Everything is good. Hope everybody is having a blessed day. I know I am. It is a good day. We are running live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and X. So I want to welcome everybody, and we're going to get into the swing of things. But before we do, make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, ring that bell so y'all can get those instant notifications. I'm just making sure I got myself squared away. And while I'm talking, we have a special show coming up for you. Hopefully, it'll more than likely be this coming Wednesday. We're going to call it Ladies Night. I have a panel of wonderful patriots that have been through a lot, seen a lot when it comes to the trafficking industry. And they're going to let us hear their stories, how they've overcome, how they've learned how to join organizations that rescue people that's gone through what they've gone through. Basically, an inside look on the operations, on what it takes to rescue people that are being trafficked. And we have a wonderful host for that show. A lot of y'all know her as Jen, the homeschooling mom. She has agreed to host that show, being that it's going to be a panel full of women. Yeah, it's going to be good. So y'all make sure y'all stick around. Let's get into the first one. Well, I got kind of sidetracked today because I wasn't expecting to start off with this, but I'll go ahead and kick it off because this is what makes me happy. It really is. And if I can go ahead and get it in here. Let me see here. And then we'll talk about it because, you know, I just want to see a little progress. A little. And this is a lot, at least as far as I'm concerned. Check it out, and then we'll talk about it.
Wake that ass up early in the morning. The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, just hilarious. Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building.
Oh, they're not gonna like this one.
We have CANDACE Owens.
CANDACE Owens.
Welcome.
Hello. What's up,
How you
girl?
feeling?
I feel great. A little tired. Had a wedding this weekend, but always feel great.
Back to New York. You're originally from here, right?
Yeah, I was born in New York, raised in Stanford, and then lived in New York after university for like 7 years. So I worked just 2 blocks away from here.
What part of New York?
Did I live in or?
Was born?
I was
raised?
born in White Plains.
Oh, White Plains. Okay, by the Bronx. Okay.
What is the Candace Owens origin story? I mean, I know a little bit of it because, you know, me and you actually used to have a lot of conversations back in the day before she changed her number. But
he was mad about that.
I mean, I did change mine, but you know,
girl, he was mad about that. He was like, I've been hitting up, she ain't going to
Because it
hit me
kept
back.
going blue. I was like, is she just
Yeah.
ignoring me?
No, I wouldn't have ignored you. I would have answered. I changed my number. I try to do it every couple of years. You know?
Okay.
Mama
What-
G,
for what?
good
Just because?
afternoon.
Because then you collect all these people that are texting you. You're like, actually, I don't want to talk to this person anymore. But I don't
Right.
want to tell them I don't want to talk to them anymore.
Mhm.
So I just changed my number.
I'm sure the more you grow, a lot of your family members hit you up for money and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's usually not family members, just random people from your past that haven't spoken to you in forever, but still have your number and will text you and ask for a favor.
Like Charlamagne.
No, it wasn't him. It wasn't about him. I actually should have messaged you my new number.
Where did all of this begin for Candace Owens?
You know, I feel like I have just a very regular story. Like I said, like I was born in New York, raised in Stanford. There was nothing, particularly that stood out in my childhood that made me think that I was going to go into politics. I feel like I landed into politics kind of accidentally.
Mhm.
And I say
Right.
accidentally because I thought I was a liberal my whole life. I thought I was on the left my whole life and really didn't pay attention to politics in any meaningful way. And then, when Trump was running for office, I didn't want him to be elected. I was like this, not because I thought he was a racist or a sexist, but just because I thought it was crazy to go from Obama, who had a certain decorum about him,
Mhm.
to suddenly this sort of brash New Yorker.
Mhm.
But I thought it was weird when all of a sudden the people that liked Trump, everyone thought he was like this iconic symbol of business. He was in rap songs. Trump was the status, flipped on him in 1 second. I didn't buy the narrative
Mhm.
that he was in the media for 3-4 decades. And suddenly you wanted me to believe overnight that he was like Adolf Hitler and a racist.
Mm.
So I just didn't trust the media's narrative about him. And so I decided to actually listen to what he said. I still didn't vote for him in 2016, but I wanted to just listen to what he actually said. And then when I saw what he was saying versus how it was being reported, I just found it to be extremely dishonest. So I started researching more, learning more. And then I got kind of angry, like just with the lies, because I do think Black Americans are intentionally manipulated emotionally by the media and, kind of kept dumb but emotional intentionally by the school system. And I started reading up on like Thomas Sowell, Shelby Steele, a bunch.
If y'all want to see more, y'all go ahead and it just stopped airing live. Candace Owens invades the Breakfast Club. And it's things like that I've always known was going to happen eventually, to where those that used to demonize and criticize because they didn't know the truth. But it's funny when people realize and they finally sit back and say to themselves, you know what, enough is enough. I'm done with believing the lies. I want to know the truth. I want to know the actual and the factual. They didn't come to me, but you know what? They went and brought Candace Owens on there. And you know what happens? We have to remember, they have millions and millions of followers. So they finally come to the conclusion to where it's like, you know what? We've been fed a lie long enough. We want to know the truth. Candace, come bring the actual and factual and bring it to our millions and millions of followers so they can finally know and understand what is actually going on. What's up? Hi, Mom. Ray, stick your head in the sand and avoid truths and facts more. They want me to avoid the truths and the facts. No, I can't avoid the truths and the facts. That's what they want you to do. But no, that's not what we're going to do. That's not what we're going to do. So, Candace Owens on the Breakfast Club. And you know what? It's about an hour and a half. It's about an hour and a half show. And you could literally hear a pin drop. You could hear a pin drop. They wanted to soak up so much of the truth. They wanted to soak up so much of what Candace Owens was feeding them. You know what? Candace Owens could have led them down a dark path and they would have followed her. They are so that's how much they realized they were deceived and lied to. Not one time, I just got finished watching it in its entirety. Not one time in that whole hour and a half show that they did with Candace Owens did they ever disagree with anything that she was saying on that panel. Because first of all, she'd have just sliced, like my wife said, she'd have sliced them and diced them up real quick. She'd have sliced them and diced them up. But you can't argue with the facts when they are presented to you to your face. Well, you could, but it would make you look so dumb. And I really think they didn't want to be embarrassed in front of their millions and millions of followers that they have that watch them and listen to them on a daily basis. So, you know, they had no choice but to sit there like the millions of followers that they got and just actually get a chance to soak up some of the real and finally be able to dissect it from the lies that they've been fed. So, you know what? He probably did. I wouldn't put it past him. He probably did. He probably did. Hi, Mom. And that's the actual and factual. What we got here. I appreciate everybody tuning in on a Sunday afternoon. We are just getting kicked off. But I didn't think I was going to go down that path. I didn't wake up expecting to see Candace Owens on the Breakfast Club. I mean, these were the same people that used to vilify her, that used to really, you know, she was one of those Trump people that was evil, and she was, what's the word, Uncle Tom. She was all this, all that. But yet now, oh, how the tables have turned. How the table. But you know what? It's not just with them. It's not just with them. You see it happening in a lot of people's inner circles. People want to know now. You can't outlive a lie. Sooner or later, the truth is going to catch up to the lie, and it's going to surpass the lie, as which is happening right now, as we can see. But will that stop people from blatantly doing the insane, doing things that they know they mamas taught them better, but for some reason they just got to do it? And that leads us into our next clip. But you know what? I got somebody that can explain it best for everybody. Let me see if I can pull them up here. I got somebody that can explain it best for everybody. Here we go.
Instead, he is vowing to fight the ruling all the way to the Supreme Court. Joining me now in this Sunday Morning Futures exclusive is the executive vice president of the Trump Organization. He is President Trump's son, Eric Trump. Eric, good to see you. Thanks so much for being here this morning.
Thanks, Maria.
So the first question, of course, is how are you dealing with this? What is your plan to meet this judgment?
Yeah. Well, it's so sad. First of all, I'm a guy that grew up in New York. My father built the skyline of New York, and this is an election interference. And they go out and they ask you to post a $500 million bond. Maria, I want to put that in context. I went out to the largest sureties in the world, the largest sureties in the country. They said, Eric, the last time we've seen a bond of that size is when we did the big dig in Boston, which was
It's here. It's here. It's here. Oh my God. Oh my God. 240,000.
a $25 billion construction project that lasted almost 25 years. They're trying to put my father out of business. They're trying to take all his resources that he would otherwise put into his own campaign for presidency. This is New York State. This is what we're seeing. Letitia James campaigned on this promise, and now they're making him do something that's not physically possible. Putting up a $500 million bond. Bonds that size don't exist in this country. A $10 million bond is a large bond. A $15 million bond is an enormous bond. A $500 million bond. And Maria, remember one thing. The banks all testified Trump was the greatest borrower we've ever had. I mean, there was no victim. This is a crooked system with a crooked attorney general in a crooked court that literally wants to put my father out of business. And you know who they're actually going to hurt? They're going to hurt the thousands and thousands of employees that we have in New York State. These are janitors. These are doormen. These are, people that work in commercial buildings. they're going to hurt those individuals, not the executives. They're going to hurt those individuals. How about all the contractors that we employ to do build outs? How about everybody else that relies on our family, thousands of people, all for their own political vendetta? It's insane.
I'm trying to understand how this number came about, $454 million or $464 million, and what the real number is. How did they come up with this number?
We are all trying to figure that shit out. We really are.
You know what? It was a crooked number. There are no victims. There is no number. Right. The number should be zero. My father's run a great company. I run a great company. We've never had a default. We've never missed a payment. We've never been in a breach of covenant. Every single one of our lenders came out, and he goes out and the judge comes out and says, I want to take disgorgement. I want to go back and I want to take interest rates that you paid on mortgages and put it up to 10, 11, 12% and go back 20 years. And we already won this in the appellate court. The appellate court already said that there's a statute of limitation, that 99% of what he put in there is thrown out. But Maria, this isn't about this. This is lawfare. They want to hurt my father, who is winning the presidential race right now. He's beating Biden in every single poll, in every single swing state. He came out and said he wants to put hundreds of millions of dollars of his own money into his campaign. Right. And how do they deprive him of that? They have that judge that you have on the screen right there come up with an astronomical number, give you zero time to post a bond that's not even commercially available in the United States. It's not. No one's ever seen a bond this size. Every single person, when I came to them saying, hey, can I get a $500 million bond? Maria, they were laughing. They were laughing. Yeah. Top executives of the largest surety companies had never seen anything of this size. And what, they're going to start seizing assets if he can't put up something that's not available in the United States?
You said there were no victims. No one lost any money. You've paid everything back in plenty of time. So have you heard from the business community in New York? Are you disappointed that you're not hearing more outrage from others? I mean, I've certainly heard from Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank. He says he's questioning whether or not he'll ever do business in New York again because of this.
Sure. And by the way, Joe Rogan's talking about it every single day, and everybody else is talking about it. The entire Florida real estate community is laughing. The judge said that Mar-a-Lago was worth $18 million. $18 million. You can't buy anything on the island of Palm Beach for $18 million, let alone by far the largest house. A house that's probably worth $1 billion. I mean, Maria, this is the entire Florida real estate community is laughing at this. The entire real estate community in general is petrified of New York. You know how much business New York State is losing because of this? Because they see this radical, and you even have the governor, Kathy Hochul, comes out and says, we're going to do this to Trump, but we're not going to do it to any of you. Don't worry about it. We'll do it to him, but we won't do it to any of you. Maria, they're trying to deprive him of his cash. They want to bankrupt him. They want to hurt him so badly, and it's going to backfire because he's going to win this in November, and everybody in this country universally knows exactly what these people are doing.
And that basically says it in a nutshell. Everybody knows exactly what these evil people are doing. No justification in this case with what they're doing. I mean, you ask yourself, how do you go from building the biggest skyline, New York City? How do you go from employing thousands of people? How do you go from making banks money hands over fist? How do you go from having no victims whatsoever and people wanting to continue to do business with you to this? I tell you how. After I say good afternoon, David Nabar. It's highway robbery. It's highway robbery. That's what it is. You know, it doesn't matter anymore what side you stand up on, what religion you are, what you're Democrat, you're Republican. Now it has become about just basic, are you a good person? For some reason, at this point in time in history, we live in a sick and demented type of society. Is this not still the nation, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all? Is it not that anymore? Has it really become a nation where they can literally, the powers to be, I'm saying, literally just do what we are seeing in front of our eyes? The last, isn't this is just what it is about when you are taking down your political opponent, destroying somebody's livelihood. Not just that, the businesses, and like Eric just stated, it's really not about them. They got the money. But what about the thousands on thousands of people that they employ? What about all of the family structures that they are willing to destroy? Homeowners trying to pay their mortgage, trying to put their kids through college, trying to make that car payment. So you telling all these thousands of families, all these thousands of people, we about to put y'all on the unemployment line because we don't like Donald Trump, and we about to set him up, and we about to rob them, and y'all just gonna be the victims of it. Because Don and his people, they got the money. It ain't like they coverage is about to go bare. But you know what? Just like the clip I showed a little bit ago with Candace Owens on the Breakfast Club. They want to know the truth. They are tired of being lied to. And they figure, if we're going to hear the truth, let's hear from somebody that's been trying to tell us this shit for years now. Because this just ain't about the people around the Breakfast Club table. It's about informing their millions and millions and millions of followers of the truth. That's what it's about. And you know what? Just to let you know, it's not just me saying this. It's not just Republicans saying this. You got some people that just don't want to lose. They just don't want to lose. And let me bring up one right here, if you would let me entertain. Now, I never gave this man too much credit, but you know what? When you don't want to lose, you just got to point out the stupidness of it. And he says it best. Go ahead, Bill.
I do give a shit who wins the next election. And outdated racial pandering is one reason Democrats lose elections. When Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi put on kente cloth, I don't think it earned them one vote for their powerful emotional ties to Ghana. Here in California, we're now segregating kidnapping. Really, California doesn't just have Amber Alerts for missing children. We have Ebony Alerts for Black children and Feather Alerts for Native American kids. What is that? We look for them by listening on the ground?
Now, Bill Maher is being Bill Maher. He's being a comedian. And I love it when someone of their own party, a Democrat, is like, you know what? It's just to the point where I'm gonna clown you now. I'm just gonna clown you because you're looking so stupid.
Look, even if you like identity politics, this kind of thing is antiquated. From 2010 to 2020, the number of people identifying as multiracial in America went up 276%. 1 in 5 newlyweds now are in an interracial marriage, and that number goes up to 100% in ads for Subaru. You couldn't do a remake of Guess Who's Coming to Dinner today because almost 100% of Americans approve of interracial marriage, especially with rich in-laws.
So basically, he's saying, Democrats, stop it. Stop trying to divide us by race. Because you know what? It's not a winning strategy.
And 95% of white women would leave their husband to marry Idris Elba.
Yo, did you see the white girl? She like, yeah, I sure would.
Idris Elba, who says, as humans, we are obsessed with race, and that obsession can really hinder people's aspirations. Actress Raven-Symoné agrees. She told Oprah, I'm tired of being labeled. I'm not an African American. I'm an American.
Boom.
She says, I don't know what country in Africa I'm from. My roots are in Louisiana. And you don't have to agree with that, but it's a point of view a lot of people have. It should be respected. Morgan Freeman says the way to finish off racism is stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man, and I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man. There's even a movement now to ban racial questions on the census, and many of its leaders are people of color, like Professor Sheena Mason, who says to undo racism, we have to undo our belief in race. The liberal group MoveOn.org, formed in 1998 to urge Republicans to move on from the Clinton impeachment. Today's Democrats should move on from identity politics. It's not working. It's not working for them or for us. Democrats are hemorrhaging the very voters they think they're pandering to. The Financial Times writes, Democrats are going backwards faster with voters of color than any other demographic, and suggests the reason is that a less racially divided America is an America where people vote more based on their beliefs than their identity. Exactly. Far left liberals are living in an old paradigm. Americans don't fit into neat little boxes anymore. Who has the #1 country song right now? Beyonce. Lil Nas X won a country music award, and he's black and gay. And a brand ambassador for the waspiest purse in America, Coach. The biggest news star in country is Jelly Roll, who was a drug dealer, then a prisoner, then a rapper, and then a face-tatted country music star. Not to mention a giant middle finger to the idea of staying in your own lane. No. In America now, you're allowed to be many things all at once, and that's a good thing, even when it's really stupid. Look, we're all Jelly Roll now. We're sloppy, complicated, and contradictory. 2/3 of Republican voters support weed legalization. And 40, yeah.
Y'all get the gist of it. Y'all want to watch it in its entirety? That's Bill Maher with that right there. But to get to a more serious point of it, he's just letting the Democrats know, listen, you can no longer try to divide America by color, class, religion. There are too many of us starting to mingle and get to know each other to where the race card can be a powerful thing anymore. Why you think they got to keep pushing the race card? Because they know the race card is a dying breed and they got to keep that flame going. And sometimes they accelerate it, trying to burn the whole house down. Like Bill Maher said, we got more that we have in common if we just will be willing to look. We got more that brings us together than that divides us as Americans. As Americans, we basically want the same thing. We want security. We want to be able to provide for our families. We want to be able to go to work, make an honest living, watch whatever sports you want to watch, do whatever you want to do as Americans. And all of that comes under that one word that you call freedom. But, the times are changing. People are waking up. People are speaking out. But they see a government that is gone buck wild. They still got their puppets on the strings, and I'm going to show them later in the show. So y'all make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, ring the bell. We're going to see the clowns that get a kick and a laugh out of all of this stuff that's going on. But in the main focus of it all, we have to realize now you have a divide. Follow me for a minute, if you will. Now you have a divide because you have a people on this side that at one time they all used to be in the same basket. Hate Trump, get Trump, hate Trump, Trump this, hate Trump, hate Trump. And then gradually, those people that was in that same basket, now they're having a struggle within their own little basket now. Because you got some people saying, well, wait a minute, y'all ain't got a little bit off the cliff, y'all ain't got a little deranged, y'all ain't got to the point where y'all ready to just be out here just setting people up and right out in public and shit, and y'all want us to go along with it, and they like pumping the brakes. They're pumping the brakes, and they're trying to warn their people what's going on. Like you got this Democrat. He's a diehard Democrat, but even he has to succumb to the actual and
Folks in
factual.
the Biden campaign are already starting to refer to Donald Trump as broke Don, which is interesting. And then there is the possibility that the New York Attorney General, Letitia James, would start seizing assets, maybe even buildings. How do you think that would play?
I want you to remember this moment, and don't forget it. If the New York Attorney General starts to take his homes away, starts to seize his assets, it's all going to be on camera. Pundits are going to sit there and scream about this. This man cannot be elected. You're going to create the greatest victimhood of 2024, and you're going to elect Donald Trump. If they take his stuff, he's going to say that this is proof that the federal government and the establishment and the swamp in Washington and all the politicians across the country and the attorneys generals and all of this, that this is a conspiracy to deny him the presidency. He's going to go up in the polls just like he went up every single time they indicted him. The indictment, let's not talk about whether it's justified or not, but it will.
Okay. So Frank Lutz is his name. Luntz. He is even at the point. You see what he said though before he pushed the envelope? He said, listen, we're not even going to talk about if the indictments were just or not. We're not going to talk about that. But his whole focus is if the American people see y'all take Donald Trump shit for no reason, oh, they really going to see y'all go buck in public. But see how he tried to flip the script? Oh, Donald is going to raise the issue that see how I'm a victim. Well, if Donald's a victim, damn it, he's a victim. So if he portrays himself to us as a victim and we can clearly see he's a victim, he better portray himself as a victim. He better come out and say how corrupt is. You think he's not? In my opinion, I think Donald is like, yo, come get the keys. Come get the keys. I want America to see exactly how far y'all are willing to go. I want other businesses to really see, because it's one thing to talk the walk. It's one thing to talk the talk. But when you actually jump that step and walk the walk, oh, that's when they really get a chance to see. But watch how he tries to cover this up.
Prove the things that he's saying on the campaign trail, and he will go up, and it may just elect him president. Do not forget that. And I say this to the Attorney General right now. If you play politics on this, this is what the secretaries of state did in Colorado and what they did in, I believe, is Maine. His numbers went up in both states. I don't understand. I'm almost speechless in how pathetic the opposition to Trump has been and how completely misguided. And this is a perfect example of it.
And this is a Democrat, one of them hardcore pom-pom waving Democrats that he cannot even believe how far to the extent that these people are willing to go. Now, you think he would be saying that if she had any kind of a case? No, he wouldn't be saying that. He'd be waving his pom-poms. But he even sees y'all are y'all taking this way too far. I was about to say a little too far. They've been past a little too far ago. But you see the title. Is this still America? Hell, I can't tell. Listen, y'all know how I like to say that. Listen, Linda, listen. Let me tell you what my eyes see. And y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Here we have a man in Donald J. Trump that they have been trying to prosecute, put in jail, throw under the bus, under the rug, not under the bus, under the ground, under the jail, whatever you want to call it. They have been trying to do this since day one. I haven't forgotten everything that they've put him through, and others haven't forgotten everything they've put him through. But they want us to miraculously somehow forget all of the lies. And the reason I say they're lies, because they're at this point. I don't know about you, but I like to use a lot of logic and common sense. They've been after this man for years. Years. With nothing but lies. Nothing but lies. Why do you think they're at this point they are now? They're like, wow. No, you know what it is? They really thought their lies would win. They did. They really thought their lies would win in the long run. And I don't know why. They've let their arrogance really start to dictate and believe that they are really more powerful than America. They're not. And today's show on the Breakfast Club with Charlemagne, the Not God, and Candace Owens, you could hear a pin drop, like I stated earlier. And if you didn't watch the clip that I showed, go watch it in its entirety. You can hear a pin drop. And it wasn't just for them, it was for their millions and millions of followers. These are the same people that used to criticize her and demonize her and call her Mrs. Uncle Tom and this and that. Now, don't get me wrong, they still had to throw their little sarcasm in there. But you know what? You know what you take away from that show? People that said, you know what? Okay, we want to know the truth. And we might as well hear some actual and factual from somebody that's been trying to get us to listen forever. One of our own. That's all I needed to see right there. That's all I need to see. They can say what they want to say. They can hate Trump. Because at the end of the day, like I tell people, this ain't about Trump. This is about people finally being tired of being sick and tired and understanding and knowing what's really going on behind the scenes. To really be able to make an educated, informed decision when you're doing something. Oh, Jen, she will be actually, like I said, this week coming up, got a special show. It's going to be a great show. We're going to call it Ladies Night. She will be hosting that show. As matters of fact, yes, Jen the homeschooling mom. I'm actually going to start promoting the show tomorrow. I'm just waiting to make sure I can get the times down. A couple of the Patriots are on the West Coast, and so with the time difference and everything, we got to try to coordinate everything. So we'll go ahead and get that on track. But yeah, it is a sight to behold. It's a sight to behold. But you know what? While we're still on that topic of a deranged society, an evil, twisted society when it comes to some Americans, I'm going to show you some grown ass people that it's like kids getting caught cheating, playing a little game, or not getting caught cheating, playing a little game, and they think they're getting away with everything. This is when you know that this shit ain't genuine. It's not on the up and up, because if it was, real people don't act like this. And then again, maybe these ain't real people. You judge for yourself.
Defeated looking man came up to me and said, "Mr. President, I have crushing debt and I'm completely wiped out." And I had to look at him and say, "Donald, I'm sorry. I can't help you." And then, of course, the media piled on.
We begin tonight with some cold, hard facts. Donald John Trump is broke and begging for money.
Just last night, I got like one of those video ads that pop up before you watch a video, and it was like Donald Trump Jr.'s face saying, "Give us $5, chip in." I was like, wow, God, you guys are scraping.
Something tells me over the weekend, Trump's going to start talking about how strong Vladimir Putin is, and suddenly a dump truck full of rubles will pull up and cover this for him.
I'm so sorry. So, as it turns out, you know who says he cannot come up with the cash to cover his $400 million plus bond in his New York fraud case. So, is Letitia James like gonna just? Do you need a tissue? I don't know if I'm laughing or crying.
Chris.
Okay. One of the reasons I played that, I also played it so I can have it stored on my clips and in my library. But how the faces are going to change when this is all over. See, those are people part of the plan and the plot, and they are under the illusion that they have won. Arrogant to the point where I'm gonna love that I saved that clip. But you know what? I hope they give their audience or whoever watches them that enjoys that type of Broadway performance. I really hope that they enjoy it. I really do. Because you know the saying. He who laughs last laughs the best. This isn't the first time y'all laughed about doing something that was of bullshit and it went nowhere. This is just another something to give me something to talk about. Put it that way. And since it's doing that, y'all make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, ring the bell for the instant notifications. Facebook, we are on it. YouTube, we are on it. Instagram, we are on it. Twitch, we are on it. X, we are on it. Like, share, subscribe, ring the bell so you can get that instant notification. So, if you was watching the show 2 shows ago, I was talking about a woman from Flushing, Queens that got arrested for kicking a squatter out of her $1 million home. And we were talking about what the heck is happening, what is going on. So we found out that she couldn't kick out the squatter. The squatter actually had more rights to the home than she's got. But now it seems that the squatters have went another step further. I'm going to go ahead and show the clip. And then you know what we do. Like, share, subscribe, ring that bell. We're going to
Police say 2 suspected squatters on the run for a murder in Manhattan have been arrested in Pennsylvania. A 19-year-old man and an 18-year-old woman picked up this morning in Pennsylvania. And police say the squatters killed 52-year-old Nadia Vittel when she stumbled on them during a visit to her late mother's apartment. After her murder, she was put into a duffel bag. Eyewitness News reporter NJ Burkett live in Kips Bay tonight with more. NJ.
And right, Dave, the arrest may answer some of the questions, but not all of them. Was she killed because she confronted suspected squatters? Is it really that simple? If there is more to it, detectives are not saying, at least not so far.
Knowing that there's justice for her and her family, that's a relief.
Superintendent Gene Pompey says a weight has been lifted from his shoulders. 10 days after Nadia Vittel was beaten to death in a 19th floor apartment. 2 teenagers are in custody tonight in connection with her murder. Her body was found on Thursday of last week by her son, who came to the apartment with relatives after they had not heard from her for 2 days. Pompey was there when her body was discovered, a foot protruding from a duffel bag.
The closet, was partially open with all the clothes, pulled down. Yeah. And one of the in-laws says, I believe there's a body in that bag. Can you please open it?
Wow. So this is where we've gotten to. We've gotten to this point. And good afternoon. The trolls have woken up, but as they are slowly but surely finding out, I don't make a big deal about it. I just get you from it, and that's all it takes. But we've had a great show today. We've covered a lot. We've talked about a lot. But what the hell are they doing? Felix Delgado, good afternoon. What the hell are they doing? We got Dave Glavin in the building. Good afternoon, Dave. Cat is out the bag, Democrats. The cat's out the bag. Everybody sees what your plan is. You know, I think this is my opinion of the whole thing. I think Americans are really sitting back and really wanting to watch this play out. I think this is the biggest reality show going today. You got corrupt officials at the highest level. This is like name a damn cop show. And not, you can't name no CSI shows. It's got to be something like the Badge of Blue or something where you got the highest government officials doing the crimes and all this shit, and then they setting up the politicians and doing all this shit. And you know, in the movies, you know, they got the military running up and down the streets eventually in some of the scenes. I don't know what caused it or how it led up to it, but you know they do. And it's like a movie. It's like a movie, and we sitting back wondering if the good guy gonna win at the end. I mean, we like, damn, oh boy, they setting him up, yo, they planted the shit on him, yo, that's messed up. You know how we sit back and react to shit when we see it, but now everybody's aware. Everybody's aware, and it's like this is one of the funniest things. It's not like they don't sit back and I don't know if they're being told or if they get to actually watch Americans catching on to the shit that they doing. You know, you feel me? I mean, is anybody sitting back and telling them like, yo, boss, no, they've been talking about this and that, and they're not buying that shit no more. And are they just saying, well, damn, we just gotta keep pushing it? It's like a dope man selling bad dope. You know, his boy come back to him and say, yo, boss man, yo, the stuff ain't good. Man, you better go out there and sell that shit. Get rid of all of it. Because I've showed you Stephen A. Smith calling them out on, you can't even call it hypocrisy anymore. Calling them out on the lies. And that was a bright spot for me when I seen Stephen A. doing it, because Stephen A. Smith, he's trying to find his lane. I think he's trying to bridge the gap between sports commentator now and political analyst. But what he found out is, if he wants to stay actual and factual, if he wants to stay relevant in the politics of it all, if he wants to have longevity, he has to figure out now that he has to start somewhat telling the truth, putting the truth out there. Even he can still have his own opinion of the truth, but at least he's giving people an opportunity now. At least he's giving his followers an opportunity now to make their own educated decision. And people want to sit back and call him stupid for having his way of looking at some stuff, I call him riding the fence, because he tries to go full in, but then he also remembers, well, I can't push it too far. You know, he ain't trying to get canceled by his own. And I understand that to a certain extent, but I also feel like, damn, dude, you made a name for yourself. Go out there. Go out there and do what you do. But when I seen Candace Owens on the Breakfast Club today, that just let me know. Charlamagne Not the God, DJ Envy, and the other sister girl that was sitting there, they were pupils. At least they were acting like pupils, sitting in a classroom, getting educated by the educator when it comes to what's going on in this atmosphere, in today's world, in today's society here in America. Both ears absorbing all of it, and not just them, but their millions and millions of followers. That's what gives me hope. Stan Steve says, oh yeah, she's the greatest. Good afternoon, chat. I haven't forgot about y'all. Let's go ahead and get to the chat. Please keep the chats respectful. Let's get good afternoons going. Mama D is in the building. Good afternoon. Casey Mahone. Good afternoon. Liberty Voice. Zip is watching. Good afternoon. David Navarre. Good afternoon. Little bro Daryl McClain. Good afternoon. David Glovin, my brother. Good afternoon. Felix Delgado, my brother. Good afternoon. And Big Cuz Haston Payne is in the building. Good afternoon. Jerry Muddlin is in the building. Good afternoon. Hope everybody is having a good one. Now, Bertie, there is some that I just won't put up on there. Y'all go ahead. Keep it respectful, and I'll let y'all go ahead and do y'all little, because only y'all see it, and I see it. So enjoy your conversation. But as you do, make sure you smash that like. Depending on what platform you're on watching me, ring that bell. And make sure you share, because we're going places. It's like Star Trek. We're going places where no man has been before. We're in no man's land. How do some movies end up? How do some movies end up like this? Don't the bad guy at the end wind up getting destroyed? Do you ever see a movie where the bad guy wins? No, you don't. I don't care if there's a part 2, part 3, part 4. Even in Jason and Freddy and all them mugs, they died at the end allegedly. But these people, they human. They once they go, they not coming back. So I don't compare them to those movies. But normally in the movie, there is a point in time in the movie where the good guy reigns. And if you go into a movie theater watching a movie and you really don't have the concept that, okay, the good guy's going to win in the end, but I'm going to watch the movie all the way through and see the struggles and exactly what he has to go through. If you was just one of them people, be like, I'm not going to watch it because the good guy wins. If you never went to a Rocky movie because you knew at the end of it Rocky was going to be victorious, you'd have never went and seen a Rocky movie. You went to a Rocky movie knowing they was going to find somebody that went through the hardest shit. People doubted him and all of this, and he had it hard and just had it rough. But at the end of all that shit, he came out victorious. Willie Faulkner, good afternoon. How are you? Appreciate that. Mike Ogsby, good afternoon. Appreciate that. I'm not running for president or mayor because they won't let me stick around too long. Not when you bring it like, no, I see what Trump is going through. I don't want that. I don't want that at all. I think I got my little bro rolling by because I heard a booming sound. And when he goes by, my house rocks. I thought the train makes my house rock. Now, when my baby bro go by, the house really rocks a little bit. But I just thought I'd come over here this afternoon and first of all promote this week's show. I will know tomorrow definitely what day it's going to be. I know it's going to be an evening show, possibly about 9-10 o'clock. You won't want to miss it. Jen, the homeschooling mom, is going to be hosting it. I will be producing it. We're going to have some ladies that have been in the industry, have rescued kids from the industry, have been through hell and back. And we're going to hear their stories, and we're going to hear how they are giving back after, going through what they've gone through to help people not deal with the situations they've dealt with, or how to overcome the situations after dealing with the situations that they dealt with. But yeah, other than that, I just wanted to come today and listen to me. I just wanted to come today and bring you good cheer and let you know, keep hope alive. I'm not gonna say, well, I was gonna say fight racism, but you know that's tangible. That's something. Ain't nothing to that. Fight homelessness. Fight homelessness. Fight for the safety of your community. You know, fight for things. Fight for lower gas prices. You know, fight for secure borders. Fight for things that we can see once our efforts are put somewhere that we can see some results. Like I was telling somebody the other day, do you know how long and how many hundreds, probably into the trillions right now, how much would you say we have put in fighting this war on drugs? Every year they say it's something like $280 billion fighting the war on drugs. How can you still be fighting the war on drugs when the drugs are escalating? We losing. Just come out and say, you know what? We've given up the fight for the war on drugs. We're tired of wasting money on a cause that we can't win. Do that. Rick Rack. Good afternoon. My brother Rick Rack is in the building. It really stopped being America around January 19th, 1903. In earnest, since then, it has only been a grand illusion put forth by you know who. Yes, sir. The ones who say they're fighting the war on drugs with money are the ones that are actually making money off of them. Exactly. And we now see how the cycle is just an ongoing cycle for them to make money. Along with what we'll be talking about this week, trafficking, sex trafficking, that is the topic for next week. So make sure y'all stay tuned as I keep you updated. You don't want to miss it. Yeah, they all of that stuff. It's crazy how the criminal elite use everything that they're supposed to be fighting for as a tool to get rich. Never eliminating the problem. As they call, never really going to the root cause of the situation, always dancing around it, always saying, well, we need to do this, we need to do that, rather than going to the major cause that would do damage. That's when you know they don't want nothing to be done. That's when you know they don't want nothing to be done. But we're gonna get ready to land this plane. I appreciate everybody for tuning in today. It was a Sunday, great day, fun day, all day. And is she gonna get away with it? Are they literally gonna get away with it? No, they're not gonna get away with it. They're not gonna get away with it. Trump is gonna take this all the way to the Supreme Court. Let me give you a little breakdown before we go of why they won't get away with this. If you know anything about what Donald Trump is going through, Donald Trump doesn't own the majority of the portions of those properties. These things are rented and owned. There are portions and offices and companies that are intertwined into all of these locations. It would take her literally years. They estimate 4 to 5 years for her to go through any litigation before she can claim being landlord of any of those, because there's so many hands involved. By that time, the Supreme Court is already going to rule that this is unjust, or he will be president by then. So all of this stuff, just like with the indictment, all of this, the indictments and the impeachments, they put off this grand illusion like shit's about to pop off, when the whole time they've just lit a dud. But they still got people running away. It's a dud. I know that. That's why the Don said, I ain't got it. I ain't got it. You want it? Come get it. More Jen, less Ray. Well, if you want to see Jen, you'll have to tune in next week on Wednesday, I believe it's going to be. So far, I'm shooting for Wednesday, about 10 o'clock Eastern Standard or 9 o'clock. But like I said, I'll have more information. But until then, in the meantime, in between time, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Facebook, YouTube, X, Twitch. This is your man. Y'all already know. Deuces. I'm out.